Good evening, folks. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you what I got from Kino-Lorber, their summer sale. And actually, I have two orders from Kino-Lorber, and the one I'm going to show you tonight is the second one, which got processed very quickly. I placed this order the night before the sale ended, which was what, the 7th? Yeah, August 7th. And it's already arrived. The other order, which I placed on, let's see, July 22nd, 29 items, and some of those are box sets, so they're even more titles. That hasn't been processed yet. I think there must be some things that are not in stock, so Kino-Lorber doesn't send out partial orders. So anyway, I'm still waiting for that. But this is order number 2, and I have 26 Blu-rays to show you. So let me start off with some silent movies. One of the reasons why I went back to the sale a second time, I wanted to get some silent films, which is something I need to keep getting in touch with more and more, and also to buy some more foreign language films, which I didn't do so much in the first order. So I went crazy this year. Kino is getting lots and lots of my money. Let me show you what I got here. I'm looking forward to seeing all of these. Most of the movies I'm showing you today I have not seen. There are a couple of titles that I remember seeing way back when I was a kid, but it's been a very, very long time. So, all right. Silent movies. Man with a Movie Camera, which I've heard so many people talking about. So I finally just gave in and said, let's see what this is all about. Foolish Wives by Erich von Stroheim, which I've never seen anything directed by von Stroheim. I don't know much about von Stroheim beyond Sunset Boulevard. So something else I need to get in touch with. This movie is 143 minutes long. So let's see if I can stay awake. Here is a film by, well, actually, this is a double feature by Todd Browning. Two films starring an actress named Priscilla Dean. One is The Drifting, starring Priscilla Dean and Anna May Wong. Also, Wallace Beery is in it. And the second feature, also by Todd Browning, is White Tiger. White Tiger. Priscilla Dean, Matt Moore, Raymond Griffith, and Wallace Beery. So, Priscilla Dean, right? And speaking of Priscilla Dean, this is an actress I've never seen before in my life. This is a film where she starred with Lon Chaney. Actually, she is top billed, not on the cover, but on the back. Outside the Law with Priscilla Dean and Outside the Law with Wheeler. Oh boy, I can't read the Oakman and Lon Chaney. So anyway, and once again, Todd Browning. So, all right. Priscilla Dean. I actually had a great aunt who was named after Priscilla Dean, first name and middle name, and I never met her. She died before I was born, but I've always been curious about this actress. All right, next up, I picked up this movie starring Rudolph Valentino, which is called The Eagle, and simply because I've never seen Rudolph Valentino, so Valentino, right? This is from 1925, all right? Next up is show you some of the foreign films that I bought, and a couple of these are British film noirs, and I picked them up because I was curious. I like that style of film, and I also like the actors who are in here. This is Brighton Rock, starring Richard Attenborough, Hermione Baddeley, and William Hartnell. Don't know that name very well, but looks interesting. Second one is called The Blue Lamp, from 1950. This has Jack Warner, not that Jack Warner, a different one. Jimmy Hanley, Dirk Bogarde, Robert Fleming, directed by Basil Dearden. Okay, well-known name. So let's get to some of the foreign films, foreign language films. These are all French language films, by the way. This one's called Detective, and it's from the year, let's see, 1985, okay? And the reason I bought this is because I like the actor and the rock and roll singer Johnny Hallyday, who was kind of the French version of Elvis Presley back in the late 50s, early 60s. And it's also directed by Jean-Luc Godard, and I haven't seen that many films by Godard. I've seen Breathless and Alphaville, and that's it. It's pretty much the extent of my Godard experience. So I thought I would check this out. Next up, I can't pronounce this, but it's Bob. Well, see if you can pronounce that because I can't. Flambier, directed by Jean-Pierre Melville. Again, because I've heard the name of Melville many times, and I thought I would finally get around to watching something by him. Next up is by Louis Buñuel. This is Death in the Garden, starring Simone Signoret. This is from 1956. And, wow, I don't know. The storyline intrigued me. Plus, I've seen a few things by Buñuel. I can't say I'm a major fan. I don't know that much about him, but this should be interesting. Next up is Jean-Paul Belmondo in The Body of My Enemy. And I just picked it up because I like him, right? That's from 1976. Now, these last two films I picked up because they were recommended by friends of mine. And this first one was recommended by my friend Mike Dagg of Dagg Films, Hangmen Also Die, directed by Fritz Lang. Okay. And he really gave this, this is from the Cohen collection, which of course, Kino sells a lot of. And this has a little bit of artwork, which a lot of the Kinos do not. And so, Hangmen Also Die. How's that for a title? And this was recommended by my friend Roger Kirby. This is another French film by Max Ophuls. It's called There's No Tomorrow. And Roger he pointed out very aptly that the face on the cover looks so much like Claudette Colbert. But of course, it's not Claudette Colbert because she never allowed herself to be photographed by this side of her face. All right? Anyway, so much for that. Okay, let's get to some of the American films. And the one film that I know I saw way back in the day is this musical from Paramount called Blue Skies. Bing Crosby, Fred Astaire, and Joan Caulfield. And I know I saw this on TV back when I was a kid, but it's been a long time. And this is the one where Fred Astaire dances to Putting on the Ritz, which would be a lot of fun, right? Here's an older film. This is from 1933 by Candlelight. Great cast of actors. Paul Lucas, Elisa Landi, and Niles Astor. Directed by James Whale. Okay? Mr. Frankenstein himself. Here's a classic that I don't think I've ever seen. I may have seen it on TV way back in the day, but I'm not sure. This is the front page. The first version, I guess, of the front page, which has been remade several times. And this, Adolphe Menjou, Pat O'Brien, Mary Bryan, and Louis Milestones, produced by Howard Hughes. Ooh, wow. The front page. That'll be fun. I picked this up because it had such a great cast of actors. If I Had a Million, from the year, 1932, it has Gary Cooper, Charles Laughton, W.C. Fields, George Raft, Mary Boland, Alison Skipworth, wow, just a whole bunch of different people. And the printing is so small I can't see it, even with these glasses on. So, If I Had a Million. Here is, I think, the second version of the classic soap opera Backstreet. This is from 1941. Has Margaret Sullivan and Charles Boyer. And also has Tim Holt is in it. Richard Carlson, Frank McHugh. So, yeah, 1941. Margaret Sullivan could always make you cry. And here's a Western from 1956. Richard Widmark, Donna Reed, Backlash. Directed by John Sturges. It also has John McIntyre, William Campbell, Barton McLean, Harry Morgan, and Jack Lambert. Wow, what a great cast of supporting actors. John Sturges, Backlash. Okay? And finally, because you can never go wrong with Barbara Stanwyck or Douglas Sirk, so I picked up All I Desire, which I don't think I've ever seen in my life. All I Desire. Nice Douglas Sirk soap opera with Richard Carlson. Let's see. Laurie Nelson, Maureen O'Sullivan. Wow. Richard Long and Billy Gray. Okay. So a few more things here which are kind of a little more eclectic. Stanley Kubrick's Fear and Desire, which I've heard so many people talk about. Finally got around to getting a copy of this. I think this is going to be a very heavy experience. At least I hope so. Stanley Kubrick. This is a film called Freud, directed by John Huston. And this was the last film that Montgomery Clift was in. It also has Susanna York. And it was also the last film for a beautiful actress named Susan Kohner. If you remember her from Imitation of Life in 1959. Very good actress who retired from films after this, 1962, so that she could get married and raise a family. And she raised two boys, Chris and Paul Weitz, very well-known, very accomplished writers and directors and actors in Hollywood. Chris and Paul Weitz were her children, okay, are her children, I should say. And she's still living, by the way. I think she's getting close to 90 years old. Here's a film I picked up just because I like the description of the story. Get crazy and say goodbye to your brain. Okay, starring Malcolm McDowell. It's all about somebody trying to put on a rock concert, and it looks like it might be kind of fun. This is 1983. Has people like Linnea Quigley, Dick Miller, Bobby Sherman, Robert Picardo from Star Trek Voyager. Oh my God, Mary Warnoff and Paul Bartel. This should be fun. Clint Howard is in it. Okay. How bad can it be, right? And this is a title that I've always been intrigued by. Electra Glide in Blue, starring Robert Blake. Okay, and I guess it's just a crime thriller. It's compared to Easy Rider, so I don't know. I guess it has social commentary going on here or something, but I don't know. Anybody seen that? This is a film directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's not a Western. It's called Breezy. And it stars William Holden and Kay Lenz. William Holden plays a middle-aged guy who falls in love with a young hippie girl played by Kay Lenz, who's really a cute actress. And I don't know, I've heard about this one for years, 1973. Okay. And finally, I don't know what to say about this one. I picked it up because I like the actors in it. This is called Drawing Flies, right? Drawing Flies. What year is this from? No, I can't see it. Anyway, Jason Lee, Jason Mewes. Executive producer is Kevin Smith. So these are two of his favorite actors. I'm a big fan of Jason Lee. So that's why I picked it up. I have no idea what this has. A very strange plot line, which I read through, but I'm not sure how I can even explain it. A film by Matt Gissing and Malcolm Ingram, anniversary edition of Drawing Flies. So we'll have to see what that's all about. And that is my second Kino-Lorber haul, and I'll be back to show you the first if and when it ever arrives. So let me know if you've seen any of these movies. I will talk to you soon.